Hey everybody, this is A7X Ben, and this is a recommended video from the YouTube comment section. I'd love to see more on prices of cards and perhaps showcasing some of the more valuable ships, how you can use them efficiently, and why they are so valuable. So I actually have the Pirates on eBay history spreadsheet in a Google Doc. You can find a link in the description below. This is something I've been keeping up since about 2011. You can find some info in the note under price. So I think I began keeping records sometime in the second half of 2011, soon after I got into the online community. Oldest prices are at the top, so this Guichuan that sold for $37, that was probably 2011 or 2012. And most recently, $63 for a punched Guichuan, for example, is the most recent, and the ship averages, $63.72. So it's the most expensive 10 master, and pretty much the most expensive ship that actually comes up for auction. I say that because the Obago Deuce may have averaged more in the past, but I haven't seen one of those on eBay ever. So anyway, and the Zeus is the second most expensive. But getting back to the recommendation though, so showcasing some of the more valuable ships, how you can use them efficiently. So I've got the 610 Masters here, and almost all these are auction prices, by the way. And sometimes there will be notes for punched. Otherwise, you can assume it's unpunched. There might be a few exceptions because I forgot to write a note or whatever. But anyway, so why they're so valuable, the 10 Masters are rare, definitely. The Zeus and the Guichuan are the two rarest, and even the other ones are somewhat rare as well. I think they might be a little more common than people think, but they're just so cool. These are the biggest ships in the game. These are mine. This is my picture. I don't have the Zeus yet. So you can see they do look cool. They're the biggest ship type. The artwork is pretty good on pretty much all of them. The Baochuan is actually historically modeled after Zheng He's Baochuan treasure ships back in the 1400s. And the Delusion, this is the same picture, but in the dark. The Delusion actually glows in the dark. So that adds to the coolness factor even more. So you can see why people would want them so much. So the value is derived mostly from the rarity, same with some of the other stuff I'm going to talk about. So people love to collect the game and to play it, but there are a lot of collectors out there, and a lot of people collect in order to play. And the 10 Masters are a fun novelty piece for games to kind of shock your opponents the first time they see one, or just to kind of bragging rights, and it's a cool thing to have. So why they're so valuable other than that, though, they are pretty good in big games as well. So, and they're just, the coolness factor is probably highest for 10 Masters as compared to any other ship type or any other ship in the game, just in general. How to use them efficiently, in the case of the 10 Masters, that's difficult because they're not exactly efficient on points. The cheapest one is the Zeus at 23 points. I will say you can use the Zeus and the two Mercenary 10 Masters. Those are both 25 apiece, Shui Jian and Celtic Fury. Those are 25 points apiece, Zeus is 23. So those three are pretty reasonable in 40-point games with like a captain, helmsman, maybe another crew as well. But these other ones are these are expensive. These two, Guichuan and Baochuan, essentially cost 37 and 36 respectively because of the linked crew that you must use because of the treasure ship keyword. Delusion is 35, the most expensive without crew. So they're not exactly easy to use efficiently, but that's why it's best to use them in high point games. So I use them in campaign games most of the time, or games with build total of above 100 or 500 plus, some kind of crazy huge games and whatnot. And I've had quite good success, honestly, using them in huge games. Then they become kind of efficient because they can be pretty effective, and you can actually afford them in the game if you're launching them, things like that. So it's like a Celtic Fury went for $7.99. I don't know if that was punched or not. That's cool. Anyway, some weird anomalies in here as well. You can see kind of price dips and they come back. So lately, 10 Masters have been going for a bit more. You can see Zeus went for 46 a couple times and it spiked back up a little bit. Shui Jian Punch went for 48 after just 29.50 earlier. So yeah, prices have been higher on eBay since like maybe 2015 or 2016. I've talked about that at length at different times. The Guichuan, I'm seeing like 4 instances where it went for 100 or more. So that 175 is bizarre. That wasn't an auction. That was like I don't think that was an auction. That was a weird one. But anyway, getting back to the question though, showcasing some of the more valuable ships. So we'll go to the right here on the spreadsheet. The Raptor Maw is the Sea Dragon. It's a 16-point Sea Dragon, so it's more cost effective than the other ones. This one averages almost $50 per auction, at least that I have recorded, with highs of about 85, which is really crazy. That's more than the Guichuan usually goes for anyway, on average. So the Raptor Sea Dragons aren't that good though. The Raptor Maw is extremely rare, part of Fire and Steel, and there's a weird distribution with that one. I think it was more common in Europe. I know Old Man probably still has extras maybe, but anyway, the Raptor Maw is a really unique one. That one is quite rare, not as rare as people thought it was going to be. It seemed like it was going to be ridiculous at first, but then more of them kind of showed up. So, and you can research all these on the forum at Miniature Trading. I actually have a video talking about how to use the search function in Miniature Trading to find more about the rarities and how they were released and distribution and stories, and how you can see the tales basically on the forum from back in 2008, 7, and see Holofernes and Old Man and everybody obsessing over them, and the stories of how they came to be and came out and were made public and whatnot. The Chum Maker is a Scorpion 17-point ship, not a good ship at all. So how to use them efficiently? A lot of these are they're just rare. So that's mostly where the value comes from, and people kind of ooh and ah over the rare stuff in this game, me included sometimes. But I like stuff that's rare and good. So in that case, 10 Masters are perfect for me because they look cool, biggest ship type, and they're better in huge games, which are my favorite type of game. So 10 Masters I do like quite a lot. Sometimes they get a little excessive. Sometimes the community gets a little overly obsessed with 10 Masters, I guess, but they get a little too much attention in a way. But most people still agree that they're not exactly practical for most games that people play, which are smaller games. The Chum Maker, though, not a good one. It went 87 is the most recent that I've got here. I think that 12.99, I'm pretty sure that was a punched one. Anyway, the Chum Maker is not a good ship at all. Gale Force 9 is a kind of an average, I suppose, pirate ship. SL speed for 15 points with the S Explorer ability. So, how to use some of these efficiently. These three that I'm going over here aren't that great. The Krakens aren't that great either, so most of them you can't use all that efficiently, realistically. There's a few Krakens on eBay right now. I'll try to put a link in the description if I remember. The Krakens, this is just a general category of Kraken, so $12.56 per Kraken. I think one of them is at like $7 now with 3 bids, something like that, with a few days to go in the auction. USS Kettering, that one's pretty easy to use efficiently. That's the best longship in the game. 16 points, SL speed, good cannons canceling ability built in. So just put a captain on, and you've got a good gunship right there. I would put more crew on, but that one is easy to use efficiently. Same with the San Cristobal, which is one of the best ships in the game. Just need a captain helmsman, maybe something else, and she'll be really dominant. The Roanoke is a good hybrid. 13 points for an American 5-master with 6 cargo. So that one's pretty good, and you can put pirate crew on that one. So how to use that one efficiently, I would say maybe go cheap in smaller games like Captain Helmsman Explorer. That would only cost you 19 points total. You'd have 3 spaces left over at LS speed. Or you could go with pirate crew and go kind of crazy on combos, which is a little more fun, but also more expensive. USS Denver is a weird one. This one you can't really use efficiently. It's 20 points for that cheerleader ability. So I did use it somewhat effectively in Vassal Campaign Game 3, but the American fleet reached over 2,000 total points in that game, so not exactly a practical, advice to give on that one, because people aren't gonna play a game like that for the most part, or if they do, they might not have a fleet of that size. The Spectre, I saw this one on eBay. This one's on eBay right now, actually. I think it was at 12 when I saw it, but this one is kind of a weird one. It's a Cursed 5-master, but it's really disappointing, actually. I wish they made it a much better ship. It could be really cool, but they made it mediocre, and Unholy Light is overpriced as a keyword. Spectre average is about $20, so, and that covers most of those rarer ships that I'm keeping track of individually. I might add categories to this spreadsheet as well. And I did add some towards the end here, like the Franklin, but she doesn't really show up all that often. I see the box specifically sometimes. And the Franklin is, I guess, a little bit rare as a special edition ship. Not too rare, but I think the value of the Franklin is based more on playability than it is on, and maybe faction, more so than rarity. So the other ones are just plain rare. So Chum Maker is going to go for a lot either way because you almost never see it. And then people get excited when it finally does show up. And I've seen, especially on the subreddit, I've seen a ton of people wanting like Raptor Maw, Chum Maker, and those are cursed too. So people kind of want the exotic curse stuff sometimes. That might drive the value up a little tiny bit maybe. But the Franklin, like I was saying though, this is a 13-point American 4-master with really good cannons, and then she gets a cannon bonus with a captain. So it's one of the better 4-masted gunships in the game overall. So I would say the value of the Franklin is based more on that, and maybe the faction as well, because there are a lot of American players. Most of the player base is based in the United States, so the Franklin's going to be pretty popular either way, and then you throw in how good of a ship it is, and I think that's where kind of the value for the Franklin comes from, sort of. So it's kind of skewed because there's not many results, but apparently that kind of shocked me. There was a $53 item on eBay. It was just a special edition box with the Franklin, and I'm assuming the Franklin is why it went for so much, but that's pretty crazy for a special edition box. And then on average, averages about $10, but again, small sample size. So Loki's Revenge is a good ship. That one is fun to use efficiently, I guess you could say. I do Captain, Helmsman, and 3 Oarsmen. That's a cursed longship with the sack ability built in and 2L cannons. So if you sack, move, shoot, you can get up to 12 2L shots in a turn if you have enough targets in range, which is devastating firepower. So that one is fun to use. That one averages about $10. It's a Frozen North limited edition. Same with Baba Yaga, actually, which has seen a bunch of action on eBay not too long ago. And the Revolution Constitution is a rare ship that averages almost exactly $8. I mean, look at these auctions. I'm sure I've missed some, but this is like clockwork. It's weird. But yeah, RV Constitution you can pencil in for basically $8. That one, of course, the value is multifaceted. So it's got one of the most popular factions. You got the Americans. It's a real ship. I mean, a lot of people have probably gone to Boston to see it or wherever she's been. And of course, famous in American history for good reason. So that one, a lot of different reasons for the value. And of course, I can't forget that it's one of the best gunships in the game as well. So on par with the Accorzato and Endeavor for one of the best 1v1 gunships in the game. And then the Slay Whitebeard. This actually happened a couple days ago, at least from this recording. Slay and Whitebeard, I don't really keep track of those very much because they're not legal for gameplay, and I understand it looks cool, but I'm just not really into that sort of thing. So it's really overpowered, which is why it's not legal to play. But I did add this column the other day, and the $10 one is from a while back. I don't know when that was from, but recently there were 2 on the same day, Friday, August 3rd. One went for 51, one went for 53, so that's driving the average way up all of a sudden. And there's been a bunch of other slays that have gone for way under 20. I may have seen it gone for $5. So this is skewed by auction prices versus buy it nows, and it's I can't keep track of everything, and I haven't seen everything. And the Slay is one I've only recently did I decide to keep track of that one specifically. So that kind of covers the topic. So the value can be based on a number of factors. I would say rarity is definitely the biggest one. People kind of ooh and ah over certain ships when they come up for auction, like Raptor Maw, Chum Maker are very rare. The 10 Masters are just always popular no matter what. And like everybody wants 10 Masters, whether they're new player or veterans, people want extras. It's just the 10 Masters, it's kind of like 10 Mast Mania. It's crazy. There's actually a fleet called that anyway. On miniature trading, but yeah, it's kind of a frenzy. I'm almost around the 10 Masters, and then using them efficiently. That's it's based on what the game piece is like. So, for example, Chum Maker, Raptor Maw, it's tough to use those efficiently. But then Kettering is an example of a ship that's quite rare and also extremely good. So, and then yeah, why they're so valuable. So that can depend on faction and playability, but mostly rarity is what I would say. Definitely seems to be the case. So thanks for watching. Feel free to suggest topics of your own whenever you want. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll be back soon with more videos.